Hello and welcome to Grossly Competent, the learning, development, and adulting podcast that doesn't claim to be pretty, but will happily pretend to be slightly competent. I am your host, Steve Council, and I'm joined by the personification of gagging, Mr. Patrick Ayleshire.
Thank you for that. Those such kind words that you offered to me today. Well, Steve, I gotta say, you're like the control group of this podcast. We keep you here to show what not to do.
Well, it's the only semblance of control I have over my life. So just let me have that, Patrick, okay? Well, anyway, folks, we have a great show lined up for all of you, but figure before we get into all of that nitty-gritty goodness, Patrick, do you want to drop that smooth operator voice on us and let us know who our sponsor is this week?
Today's episode is brought to you by Emotionally Unstable Robots Incorporated, the only robotics company brave enough to admit their AI is going through something. Their newest model, the Roomba 3000, doesn't just clean your floors, it apologizes for existing while it does. It's the first robot that stops mid-vacuum to whisper, "What's the point?" before getting back to work anyway, just like the rest of us. Emotionally unstable robots, because if the machines are taking over, they should at least be relatable.
No. Whoa, wow. Thanks, big emotionally unstable robots. Just we appreciate all that you do. I don't know how familiar you are with the show Rick and Morty.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're familiar, there's a bit that has come up like 2 or 3 times, I believe, where Rick is the like mad scientist kind of character, and he creates a very small robot to deliver butter to him while he's at the dinner table, or I think it's actually for breakfast.
Sure.
And the robot looks up to him and is like, "What is my purpose?" And he's like, "To pass me the butter." And the robot like slumps down and is like, oh my God. Like, this is my life. So thanks again, emotionally unstable robots. We relate to you so much. And this is actually probably a perfect segue. I have to get something off my chest, Patrick.
Okay.
And I have to come clean about this. I've made it a point in my life that when I have adversity, I need to hit it head on. I am a little upset with you.
Oh, wait. Did you look at my search history? I mean, when I Googled how to tell your co-host he's being replaced, it was just a hypothetical. Okay? I mean, you would be tough to replace. Who else is going to muddy up the looks of our podcast better than you?
Well, obviously nobody can match my boyish charm and my ghoulish appearance. But seriously, I'm annoyed. I am very irritated in the fact that you have failed to tell me that we are AI generated beings. I mean, what the hell, man? Like, when were you going to tell me? Is my whole life just a chat GPT prompt? Like, what is happening here?
I first want to thank one of our listeners for, listening.
Yeah, true. They listened. Yeah.
I also want to thank them for commenting on our Instagram account. As we say at the end of each episode, we truly do appreciate the likes, the shares, the comments, etc. Even if a comment is calling us out for being AI generated. Yes, that is correct. We were actually told that we are an AI generated podcast.
And I don't know if I have stopped laughing about it since I found this out. I get a text from Patrick that says someone thinks we're AI generated. I'm like, or someone thinks we're AI, I think is exactly how you said it. And I'm like, what? Like, of course, as somebody does when they get that kind of a text. And he proceeds to show me a screenshot of the Instagram kind of, not argument, but like of the
conversation.
Post.
Yeah.
A conversation. It was a conversation. And Patrick was great and very gracious and responded in kind, like, well, no. We are human beings. We are disfigured and disgusting, but we are real.
Oh, and by the way, I use hideous.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I don't know if the cat's out of the bag, but I'm not really mad at Patrick. I just had to play it up, right? Like, ooh. By the way, Academy, anytime you feel like giving me that award, just let me know. Even though that doesn't work for podcasts.
Can we give
an award for podcasts?
There should be. Can we give a supporting actress award to your wife?
Okay. Yes, big time. I'm so dumb. So this wonderful person took the time out of their day, which, as Patrick said, we genuinely appreciate that. Like, what a wonderful thing. The fact that somebody took time out of their day to listen to you and I drivel on, right? And their response was like, well, this is clearly AI. Look, how intelligent do they sound? I'm like, whoa. All right. Nope, I am recording this in my basement. Like, no, I promise you I'm not AI generated. I text my wife, as Patrick alluded, and I was like, hey, so somebody thinks that Patrick and I are AI. And she took no time at all to jump onto Instagram and is like, I will have you know my husband is very real. What I find especially humorous is the fact that she spent more time being my white knight. You know where I'm going with this. She spent more time being my white knight on Instagram than she has listening to this podcast. So I was actually hoping
she was gonna jump on the chain of the conversation and be like, good point. I don't know if he's real. I haven't even heard the podcast.
You know, I do find it funny that you and I have very Wisconsin accents. Like, we do. And it's, well, spoiler alert, that's where we're from. But when I think of like an AI voice, I don't think of nasally Wisconsin voices. I think of like Morgan Freeman or like somebody that has like a really good narrative voice. Like Tim Allen has a great narrative voice, but
absolutely. So let me do, I want to do a quick, I had something to add to that, but my brain is all over the place. So I want to jump in quick and do a Ross from Friends pivot, which I think that was actually one of the names of our previous episodes. We did some pivoting. So
we sure did.
If you had to choose, because this is something I've thought about multiple times in the last few years. If you had to choose a celebrity or two to be the voiceover of your life or to narrate your life, who would that be? So I think you just said Morgan Freeman. That got me thinking, like, yeah, that's a really solid choice. Is there anyone else that would come to mind?
Ron Howard, because of his narrating of Arrested Development. The way he delivers his lines is its own character on the show, and it is awesome. And listeners out there, if you have never watched that show, you owe it to yourself. It is so awesome. There's like 5 seasons. Watch the first three and then just leave it, because that's when it was actually like on the air. Then I want to say Netflix bought it and they kind of pushed them like X amount of years later to do seasons 4 and 5, and that's whatever. So what? But the first 3 seasons are
solid,
peak comedy.
There is always money in the banana stand.
Always.
Always.
There's dozens of us. Okay. I said mine. Who do you have?
So I have two.
Nice.
I would say David Attenborough.
Oh, God.
I mean,
yes.
The narration of all those nature documentaries,
Mhm.
Planet Earth, and all the subsequent ones he has done since. Oh, Sir David Attenborough that guy's got a voice of the angels. But I also was going to say, you said it, Tim Allen.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And here is why. I never would have said like, oh, I want him to narrate just because of Home Improvement. No, or the other show he was on. It is strictly because of those Pure Michigan ads.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
And those of you who are not familiar with the Pure Michigan ads, I am going to try to replicate a little bit. I am not Tim Allen. I am not going to speak like him, but I want to just go ahead and start with water. It can be the bottle we grab as we rush out the door to work. Or it can be the waves lapping on the shore outside our cabin window. Water can be the shower that goes cold on us every morning. Or the rapids we shoot before breakfast. Water can be puddles on a sidewalk, or the stream where we teach our kids to fish. Water can make life muddy, or when it's so clean we can see the lake bed 100 feet down, it can make everything clear again. Sure, water can flood a basement, but it can also flood our minds with memories of the greatest times we will ever know. Dive in to the waters of Pure Michigan. Hundreds of clear, crystal clear lakes, thousands of rivers and streams, and more fresh water, coastline than any other state in the country. Come find out what pure feels like. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
I'd been waiting way too long to do that. But I thought I was on the podcast with Tim Allen. How did you do that? Oh, that's easy because you're AI.
Yeah, actually, my whole voice, up until right now, because you called me out, that was my ChatGPT voice. And now I'm back. Now I am here.
Good. Yes, Tim Allen, sincerely though, Tim Allen has a wonderful voiceover voice. He does great. I'm going to give a shout out to a Mr. Will Arnett. He also does a wonderful job. He's got that real raspy, gravelly voice. And I really like that too. So you have Ron Howard and my side that's kind of light and bubbly. And then you have Will Arnett. And it's like, all right. Okay. So, it maybe just depends upon my mood. I don't know. We'll see. But that's well done, good sir. Well done on the Tim Allen bit. Nice.
So back to what we were initially talking about. We're going to circle back to.
What are we talking about? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That first comment was made in regards to us being perhaps AI generated, not real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The individual did apologize for assuming we were in fact robots. But hey, can you blame him? Our voices are basically nails on a chalkboard and have to be as close to hideous as our faces.
I would assume. Yeah.
The one thing I poo-pooed was the suggestion to change our podcast cover art. That cannot happen.
Nope.
We've broken over 8 cameras trying to take a truly professional photo for our podcast. Whether it's the acid emitting from our faces to the rug burn look to our mugs, it's just a cost we cannot afford to handle. Unless, we get a sponsor who wants to pay us and not the other way around, as we previously mentioned.
Yeah, here's looking at you, Polaroid or Kodak. I don't even know, are those big companies still? Maybe. I don't know. I bet they are. Whatever. Who knows? But yeah, dude, totally agree. That picture stays. I can't tell you how many people have, and I assume the same for you, that of course, I talk up our podcast to people, and I'll be like, hey, you should totally give us a listen. Please. No, seriously, please. And I have had quite a few people come up to me like, that art is hilarious. That cover is funny. And it kind of gives me an idea of that it's lighthearted and you guys are just kind of messing around. So yeah, that picture stays. I assume, and I'm sorry, folks, for some of you, they're like, great, we're done talking about you guys being AI. Hold on once here, folks. I challenge any of you out there that the day comes that you are accused of being AI, you can talk about it all you want to. But for right now, so when you hear this episode, this will have happened a week ago. This happened to us just yesterday.
Right.
So it is fresh on our minds and extra hilarious.
And also, when you go back and listen to this in 30 years, it's going to make even more sense. Like, they were onto something.
Yes, they were. But you said it earlier, Patrick. I want to make sure that I kind of embolden this statement too. We appreciate the fact that anybody listens. Like, genuinely, Patrick and I, we just talk to each other, and the fact that somebody else out there in the world finds us even remotely entertaining to listen to means everything to us. So for Instagram handle user, I don't know the phrasing yet. I'm an idiot. Vlada.Adamenko. I'm probably butchering the daylights out of that. We thank you. Thank you for giving us this bit. This was so much fun to make fun of. Like, you've no idea.
Thank you.
And I hope all your friends tell you, hey, by the way, you know that Grossly Competent show that you claimed is AI? They talked about you. So we'll see. We'll see, Mr. or Mrs. Vlada Adamenko, if you respond to us. So,
Grossly Competent.
Yeah. Beep, boop, blorp. Okay. All right. I'm gonna spare our listeners any longer. You want to get into the topic today, man?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us. No, I'm joking.
So, listeners, you are not going to believe this. Steve is letting me pick the topic today.
Oh,
do the intro. I have been asking him to let me do this for the last 3 months, and he finally said it was time to take off the training wheels and lead the conversation this week.
Yeah, I'm a taskmaster.
Woo! Now, granted, if I mess this up, he mentioned there'll be some lashings afterwards, but I think it's worth the risk. I kid. I brought this idea up to Steve. We share ideas all the time, and he said, "Hey, great idea for the topic. Why don't you kick us off?" So I only try to make fun of Steve once every 8 minutes, and so I feel I don't want to pile on too much. So, Steve,
my feelings will get hurt, and my circuits will overload.
To get into our topic today, how would you rate this show on a scale of 1 to 4? 1 being the worst thing ever, or 4 being the best show on the planet?
I have notes. Does the scale go lower? No.
Man, ow.
No, of course not. We are clearly a 4.
Perfect. I agree. So, you may have guessed or not, we're talking about evaluations today, folks. As facilitators, why do we use them? When do we use them? How do we use them? What do we do with the results? And does it all really matter? And as a participant, do you like them, hate them, kind of me? What are your thoughts on this topic, Mr. Steve?
All right. Well, when you shot me the text and said, hey, it doesn't have to be this episode or what, but I want to talk about this. I was completely on board with it 1,000%. So I really like this. I think this is a really beneficial topic overall. So feedback, what I think is so cool about it is, yes, you and I are in L&D, we're facilitators and we do the professional development, whatnot. But this kind of goes for anybody, like anybody in the workspace. It doesn't really matter because, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this at some point, that I genuinely believe that when you come across a good leader or a manager or really just a solid employee and you separate them with like the terrible ones, that chasm can only be filled with how they react, respond meaningfully, and then apply feedback. Like, it's so wildly important. And I think it's fair for me to point out that I do understand the fear that some people have about getting feedback. It is definitely one of those things that you're dipping your toes into that water and you're making yourself very vulnerable. to somebody just slamming down like, that sucks, right?
Mhm.
But it's also a good thing to hear the things that maybe you do not 100% or you could try to improve on. I don't think that all negative is, or all feedback's negative, excuse me. I do think that conflict in itself breeds creativity, and it allows us to kind of build new things out of that wreckage. But with that, I'm going to kind of leave it at this. Constructive criticism is not the monster at the end of the book. Like, I think that feedback is important.
Yeah. And I'm going to jump in here quickly. I completely agree with your sentiment about the type of feedback and whether it's helpful or not. I might, for this topic, I might seem like more the crab or the curmudgeon, because while I do like evaluations, they're not always my favorite. And one thing I want to point out there, you just mentioned the term that got me thinking, constructive criticism.
Sure.
That's my least favorite term. As far as in the L&D space, in evaluations, okay? And
sure.
What I love about our podcast together is that we can banter, and it might seem to the audience that we're always getting along and all that, which we do. Obviously, we're friends, but like, it's fun having differing opinions sometimes. So, for example, like the Patrick is always right episode on the icebreakers. That was fun to like.
Had to bring that one up.
Name drop. Go back and listen to episode whatever that was, but that was fun because we had differing opinions on that. You did come around to the right side, but it was fun to do that. And so, kind of to circle back to this, is like, I don't like that phrase, because why the hell do we need criticism? That might sound soft, but how about constructive feedback or constructive thoughts or something around those? The whole idea of like, when you say, it's constructive criticism, but I think sometimes people use that as a, hey, well, I want to kind of get a little dig in there, and don't take this the wrong way, or okay, but how about you provide something meaningful? I've gotten feedback and results before that your comments don't help me at all. Okay, where if it's a 1 through 4, and 4 being what you're trying to achieve as a facilitator, and 1 being what you're trying to stay away from, and there's the bunch of questions that you circle 1 through 4, like ask questions or is organized, and you have someone circling all 1s or 2s, and then in the bottom area where it says you can write something in, and they don't. That's not helpful for me. Okay,
completely agree.
I've had it. I kind of laugh. I sometimes think, well, people either they circled the wrong one, they got confused with 1 and 4, or they just didn't want to be there, and they're taking their frustration out on you. So the one I always, and I'm just kind of going off on a tangent here, but the one thing if you don't think I am knowledgeable on a topic, okay. If you don't think I gave enough time for questions, okay. I feel I did, but okay. But when someone says a 1, which again is the not so good, the negative side of it, strongly disagree on, he is organized, not having it. When I have a bunch of people putting 4, and then I have one person putting 1, you circled the wrong one, dude, and then you don't put anything in there. So that whole rant was basically about, give me something, constructive, not just this criticism. But so when I've you or I have developed something, fully developed it, and it's a damn good training, I don't know if I need some Yahoo telling me that what they didn't like about it. But again, I maybe I'm just crabby on it. I don't know.
No, I think you are completely valid. Legitimately, I think we've all been there, and it's so funny that you state that about the individual that circles the wrong one or whatever, because for some of you out there in listener land, I promise you that happens probably more times than people would like to admit. It is almost comical that if you give an evaluation to a group, you can anticipate roughly 5% of them will do that. It is no holds barred, the truth. And my favorite thing is that if you come to them afterwards, like, hey, I noticed if you have that report to say like, hey, I noticed you said that you didn't really like the topic or the way it was presented. Was there something that I could have done differently? I promise you, at least 75 to 90% of the time, they're like, wait, what? Oh, I thought that was like good, like number one. I'm like, holy hell, like the grading scale's right there, guys. Like, come on, you're killing me.
Yeah.
But to your credit, I genuinely understand what you mean about the phrase constructive criticism. I think that makes a ton of sense. It's something I never really thought too much about, but I think you lend some real credence to that. Where, and I could be totally off base on this. I genuinely don't know, but I wonder if it's because that word criticism has such a negative connotation in the current state of the world. And it could have been that way for 100, 200 years, whatever it is. But like realistically, that term criticism is just meant to be critical or like discern the merits of something.
Yeah.
Which when you think of it in that context, like, oh, I'm constructively providing you my evaluation. Oh, okay. Doesn't sound so harsh, but that criticism word, just how we know it, absolutely has that negative, like, I'm going to snipe this guy.
Yeah, that's a good point, though, when you kind of break it down that way, is the overall idea of it. And again, it's not that I'm trying to come off like, oh, we have to walk on eggshells everywhere. But the fact, if I were to come up to you and say, hey, I've got some criticism for you. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's constructive, though. Don't worry. Like, how about you did a really great job. Do you mind if I give you a suggestion? I think that can soften the blow a little bit versus.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. It's kind of like that phrase of like, with all due respect.
Oh, God.
And then you just hammer somebody.
That is a 100% of the time. No offense. It's no offense, but no. I'm about to offend the shit out of you.
Truth, yes. It's as good as an apology with the word "but" in it. Like, sorry, but you're an asshole. Like, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry you felt that way.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Wow. Oh, that is so funny. Yeah. I totally agree.
This reminds me of how evaluations are developed. And so I'm generally curious, Steve.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What any organization, either that you currently work at or in the past, do you use a 5-point scale or 4-point scale with your evals? What are your thoughts? Personally, I hate the 5. Because what happens is, listeners, just to fill you in again, if you're trying to like follow along here, you've got a scale: 1, strongly disagree; 5, strongly agree, and then work your way towards those. And then 3 is like a neutral. Okay, I hate the 5. Just freaking pick. Do you like it or not? I mean, cripes. At my organization, Steve, we actually got rid of the numbers, and this actually might help that story you were telling about. Oh, I thought number 1 was good. Yeah, the best, right? So fair. we got rid of the numbers and we go with the thumbs up emojis. So 4 thumbs up are better than 1 thumbs up.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's a nice change of pace. And I don't know. I think it's more positive in the end.
Yeah. That actually reminds me, I swear doctor's offices kind of use a similar thing, like the pain threshold system, like 1 through 10. I know it's much harder. It's like, instead of sometimes they'll ask you like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your pain? And I love when they do that because I'm like, it hurts a lot. Like, I know you're going to think I'm full of it if I tell you it's a 10, and I also don't want to downplay it. But I have seen that when they do that, they'll sometimes have like faces associated, especially for kids. Like, where on this scale? But I'm going off the deep end here. Great question. Yes, I hate the 5-point scale. Removing that neutral or like NA or like I'm indifferent, just getting rid of that, because let's all be just completely honest with ourselves. You either like something or you don't something. And it's okay to be indifferent. Yeah. But if you came to learn something, you either learned it or you did not. There isn't like this middle ground of like, I don't know if I learned. Dude, are you kidding? Like, pick one, dummy. Come on. As far actually, the thumbs up of like doing 4 thumbs up versus 1 makes a ton of sense. That absolutely. I'll admit I have not used that. I'm still a boomer, and I just use the simple numbers.
Okay.
I think that's probably just a relic of that's the way I've always done it.
Yeah.
A lot of the metrics and the information and data that I'm reviewing with whatever executive leadership or whomever is typically numbers driven.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that uniform metric to show for everything. Like, this is the amount of people we had in the audience. This is the amount of people that said this. This is the amount. So it's all numerical. But I think, to your credit, you're not taking the numbers out. You're just simply making it a bit more infographically easy to understand which one's which. So I think we're on the same page. That's
And to your point, so when we do collect the data as well in our organization, we have our coordinator takes care of all that, training coordinator.
Yeah.
And she obviously then will take the 3 thumbs up as a 3, the 4 thumbs up as a 4, and does it that way. But it really sometimes is just making it even easier and explaining more. So I kind of want to go on a just real quickly about I keep thinking these things pop up in my head talking about this, but how we explain the evals to people. Not only do we have to say, okay, 1 is one thumb up is a strongly disagree, 4 is a strongly agree, but we've had to even explain this, which I like that we did this. We spelled it out for the NPR score, the rating of,
yes.
Yeah. So that's really fascinating. And I didn't know this until I started at my current employer.
Wait, are you talking, you said, do you mean NPS?
Excuse me, NPS. I've got the news on my mind. But yeah, NPS
What's so
score.
funny is, sincerely, you said it, and I was like, I know what you're talking about. But then I was like, wait, did he say R or S?
NPS.
So wasn't trying to call, but yes.
Thank you.
Mind? Are you going to explain, or would you
go
like
ahead.
Me to?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because I think this, I don't know where you're going with this, but I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. For those of you out there that are not familiar with what NPS stands for, it is Net Promoter Score.
Yep.
And I would be remiss to think that you have not encountered this at some point during your consumerist lives. It is a score that is extracted from a consumer audience based off of a singular question. And that is, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least likely and 10 being the most likely, how likely are you to recommend this product or service to a friend or family member?
Yes.
And there's like even websites right now, if you go to them, sometimes that banner will pop up like, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, that's NPS.
Yes.
So that's what they're trying to gauge. If you're going to, I don't know if you plan on getting into like the semantics of like what the new, like the numbers and the system all stands for. But,
and again, not too deep, but I want to say that we actually had to spell it out on our evals because we were stressing the importance of, would you recommend, or how likely are you to recommend this course to another employee? Okay. So that's how we word it. But the reason we did that is because we were getting occasional scores that people were like, oh, I liked it. It was okay, but I didn't love it. So they gave us a 7. Well, that's not great. Okay. 9 and 10 is like, I would definitely recommend this course.
You are a promoter.
And so we actually spell it out on our evals now.
Interesting.
Not just to improve the scores, but because people didn't understand. Like, when I put a 3, that's not great for us. But maybe actually meant more of like a 6.
Yeah. Net Promoter Score is really fascinating. Patrick, you're right. A 9 and 10, you are labeled as a promoter, somebody that will actively promote a brand or a product or a service to your friends and family members, usually unprompted. And you know what I'm talking about, as in listeners out there. If there is something out, a brand that you really like, you will tell your friends and family members about it. Like, oh, are you looking for this? Oh my gosh, I had this done at my house or apartment. This person did a great job. I would highly recommend them. You're a promoter. Like, you're promoting that brand. A 7, I believe it's 7 and 8. You're part of this neutral zone. It might actually be 6, 7, 8. But I don't feel like that's accurate. I think it's 7.
I think it's 7. I think 6 and below is not great.
Yeah, I think you are correct. The exact numbers I'm messing up, but that middle ground is like the most dangerous because you're complacent. You're easily swayed by like something flashy or like a bit of a discount or something like that. Like, so the quality doesn't hit you, and anything below that, like Patrick was saying, is you are a detractor, meaning somebody that will openly advocate against you. Like, I am not a fast food person. I stopped eating at places like McDonald's and whatnot about 12 years ago, and I've never looked back. So when somebody's like, I went to McDonald's, I like internally, I'm like, I'm a detractor. And that's not me being like, I'm an elitist. I was much heavier. I'm just going to be honest, guys. Like, I didn't need it. Are there times I'm like, I could really go for one of their sausage breakfast burrito things? Like, holy hell. Yeah, but I'm also like, I'm glad I'm not 40 pounds heavier. Okay, pick and choose your battles. So in that vein, I'm a detractor. There's certain brands that people are detractors of. I'm a Samsung guy when it comes to my phone. My wife is an iPhone person. Woo! So be it. Whatever. You have fun with your Fisher Price toy. That's fine with me. See, I'm making fun. I'm a detractor. And she would be like, oh, Samsung's trash. Like, wow, good one. Anyway.
Green bubbles suck.
Whoa. Hey, okay. Let's not hit below the belt here, folks. But I just wanted to make sure that I touched base with everybody on what NPS is. I apologize if that was long-winded.
No, I appreciate you brought it up because I was gonna.
Yeah, it's really.
I was gonna talk about it, but not explain it because I didn't know it as well as you did. So. Oh,
I was indoctrinated by fire with NPS, and I will admit, when I first heard it, I thought it was kind of cheesy, new agey crud. But no, there really is something to it. I wasn't a firm believer on that neutral party being like the most dangerous, but psychologically, it is the truth. It's pretty wild stuff. Think of the last time that you were like, do you want to go out to eat? Or like maybe it's yourself, maybe it's you and a friend or significant other, whoever, and it's like, do you want to go out to eat? It's like, well, where do you want to go? And then you like rattle off like 2-3 places. It's like, I don't know. I guess I could do that. See, you're not a promoter and you're not a detractor. You're just this neutral ground. And maybe it comes down to price or location. Like, well, that place is closer. Let's just go there. You are not a promoter. Like, you are just... okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a neat thing when you start to see it in your own personal life come to fruition. It's pretty cool.
It is. So, Steve, you want to touch on quickly thinking of... I wanted to see if you had any input regarding feedback from the consumer, from the participants of the class, whether you believe they are more or less willing to... respond to evals in that open forum, where they got the fill in the blank thing, or if you think people like to, they prefer to be more anonymous, or they get hesitant that way.
Yeah, no, great question. It depends upon how that feedback is being retrieved.
Okay.
I have found that if you have a open group of individuals and you just ask like, hey, anybody have any questions? Almost always it's either crickets or you get that one person that just, oh man, they came locked and loaded with questions. You're like, okay, folks, the rest of you can head out. And sincerely, don't take that as like I'm insulting that person, because quite frankly, I love engaging that kind of a conversation. That tells me I resonated with that person. So like, yeah, let's talk. This is great. Let's do this. Right. I'm a firm believer of anonymity when it comes to having some form of an evaluation pushed out to your group, your consumerist audience, or whatever, however you want to reference it, to the individuals that are taking your courses or you want input. It has got to be as anonymous as possible. Because I firmly believe this, they are more likely to provide you the real-time information that you need and possibly the cost of a little bit of your ego. Or it's a boost to your ego, like, oh, smokes. Geez, like they really liked it. As far as open-ended questions, oh boy. You know what? I'm going to stop because I could talk about that, but I want to hear what your thoughts are on like anonymous versus not or anything like that.
And I think you're onto something regarding the anonymity. All of our surveys at my employer are anonymous, as I believe they should be as well. I think people are more inclined to give their opinion if they do know it's anonymous. Yeah. But I want to get on a quick little soapbox again, and that's apparently Soapbox Week. Maybe that's the title of our episode. But Soapbox Week, no, this is on my own employer, and this is not knocking the employer. This is knocking the lack of trust that happens with different organizations. So whether it's my organization or other organizations, when they do those annual or biannual employee engagement surveys. Mm-hmm. And most of the time they're done by an outside third party. Mm-hmm. They want to make it, and these are the subject matter experts of evaluations. They create them, they design them, they work with all thousands of other organizations.
Yes.
Right? But the lack of trust on some of these is just wild. That my organization gets under 50% every time. And maybe it's because they don't think things are going to happen or they don't trust the results. Any department that has under a certain number, they don't even give the individual teams those scores to avoid that possible, I wonder who said this or who put that score. It's You're right. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to go too far into that, but it's, if team members want things to improve, you have to give your input. Even if last time you took it, you don't think anything changed. Maybe this time it will. And trust those organizations that create those. Just like you would trust your facilitator to make class fun and to learn something from that. That's because that's what Steve and I do. But I digress.
Well, speak for yourself, Patrick. I try to make things as doldrum and nightmarishly just abysmal as possible.
I bet.
Sincerely, don't get off that soapbox. Preach, because I definitely agree. So, as learning and development folks, a lot of times we are affiliated kind of ancillarily with HR, and I think, sincerely, I almost have to laugh at the amount of times I've heard people, like, you're right, during those either annual or biannual surveys of an organization. And it's like, well, I'm not going to put what I really think because they know who does it. No, we don't. No, we don't. And you're right. And if it's done correctly, usually by like a third party group or something.
Yep.
Now, I can't speak on behalf of like maybe a corrupt. And that's a terrible word, but you know what I mean? Like, there are businesses out there that maybe aren't the most ethical. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yep.
But as far as like your third party agencies that facilitate these surveys and this feedback, that's their whole livelihood.
Yeah.
Like, if they were sieves of information,
they would be around.
Like, give me a break, right? Like, no, there's no way. So it always makes me kind of laugh, and I have to be careful because I don't want people to think I'm laughing at them. I'm laughing at the absurdity of that statement. Like, oh, well, no, they're going to totally know I put a 2 instead of a 4. It's like, what? Well, why don't you just say what you actually mean? Like, just try that on. Like, if you don't like something, say it. It's okay, but be an adult. and live by those words and live by that statement of it's okay to have those disagreements. Oh my gosh. I totally, or, I mentioned the open-ended question thing. You got on a little bit of a soapbox. I'm going to, but this is not me criticizing. I thought this was hilarious. I gave I believe the workshop was on, like critical thinking or planning and organizing, something like that, right? Just like basic leadership skills. Yeah. Great. And I would send out a Google form, and I was like, and I made sure it would block emails and whatnot. So it was just the information. So quite frankly, one person could have filled it out 15 times, but they didn't, because why would they? Right. I got some very nice feedback, some pros, some cons, some stuff I need to work on, something. And in the one spot, I was like, hey, do you have any further comments? The comment was, I don't like Sour Patch Kids. Because I throw like candy out on the tables and like treats and stuff like that. And I had leftover Halloween candy. And they happened to be Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish. Well, this person sat at the spot where there happened to be a bag of Sour Patch Kids. And that apparently ruined their day. I was like, noted. So I kid you not, going forward from there, I kind of made it like a tongue-in-cheek joke about it. I didn't know who did it. I was like, okay, I know one of you out there didn't like the Sour Patch Kids, so today we have Twix and we have Kit Kats. Like, hey, I gotcha.
I wish you would have doubled down on the Sour Patch Kids.
No, but it was... It ended up kind of being this like inside gag with like myself and the audience of like, okay, somebody said this, but I was able to learn that was silly. But feedback forums like that do offer a tremendous amount of value. It's just, gosh, you have to do them though. My God, be honest about it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'd say that I think that was a great example. I'd say that most people have good intentions with their comments, but not everyone, and that's okay. It's to be expected, right? I mean, we talk about people on the internet behind their computer screens or behind their phones. They say whatever the hell they want because they have that courage because they're unknown, right? Now, this is more of I think an ego boost for facilitators and more of a maybe to level the playing field. But my organization doesn't do this, but I strongly encourage it. No one ever listens, but I think it's a good idea is to eliminate when you get an eval, a bunch of evals, let's say 30 people in your class, you automatically throw out the best score and the worst score. And so that basically what that does is, okay, that person that didn't want to be there, maybe they were it was mandatold to be there. They had to go. They're annoyed because they're Sour Patch Kids or whatever candy they don't like. They're giving you bad scores just because they're taking their frustration out on you. So toss that score aside. But then maybe you've got someone who is just over the top nice. They just were like, they weren't paying attention, but you know what? I don't want to be mean. Scores all the tens, whatever. So you get rid of the top score and the lower score, and then you take the rest of those. Now, that's just something I would like to do. Now, I don't know if there's even any science behind that or best practice, but for me, that would help me feel better. Thing like, okay, get rid of the worst, get the best, kind of stay in the middle.
That is super interesting. I have not heard to do that. I've never heard of that method, but that's not to say there might be some merit behind it. I genuinely don't know. It kind of like the NPS score thing, right? Like you have these two contrasting sides. You have your promoters, you have your detractors, then you have the middle ground, right? I think there is something to learn about those extremes. And sometimes you learn things that you wish you didn't. But interestingly, I do feel like this somewhat harkens back to what we talked about last week in that needing to have that wisdom to know like what should you absorb and what can you kind of deflect back. Like, okay, this person clearly just, I wasn't going to win them over. They gave me all ones and they gave me no feedback as to why. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, if you're not going to provide me feedback, I'm not going to really take you seriously. And almost to the same degree that you're saying, if you just give me all 10s and don't really tell me like, what did you like? I look at it the same way. Like, you're just kind of blowing smoke up my, right?
Yeah.
Like this, you're not helping
Up
me.
your mask.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. I do. I those types of evals, that type of feedback is obnoxious because it's just pencil whipping. Like that's all it is. And if you're not familiar with what that term is, that is when you have a checklist and you just whip, just check, done. It's like who can get done the fastest. You haven't helped. You just honestly wasted your time. And as the person that's reading your response, it's really, really, really easy for me to see that you didn't put any effort in. I put, as Patrick, like you said, if I have somebody that I've developed this course, I have you for 2, 3, 4 hours. I have put in effort. I've put in time. Can you at least just spare 30 seconds to tell me like, hey, I liked how you did this. I did not like this. Awesome. Now, interestingly, I'd be curious because I know you and I tend to have different audiences. You will have different people in your audience on a regular basis, where most of my career, I've been stationed at a company and I start to get to know the employees and whatnot.
Sure.
I do make it a point, especially if it's like a recurring like a curriculum of some kind.
Yeah.
That when somebody gives me feedback, and it's all anonymous, like, and that's fine. I will say something at like beginning of the next, like, hey, based off of some of the feedback some of you had, some of you really like, you wanted more video, you wanted more breaks, you wanted this, you wanted this. I want to let you know I made it a point to include those things. And if it's not enough, you just have to let me know. Like, I feel like them hearing that, like, you don't have to call, be like, that person, like, because you don't know, but you can at least point out, like, hey, I do read these things.
Yeah.
And I do actually try to apply them, work with me. And I really did find that the more I would instill that, the more feedback I would get that was relevant and context driven.
That's a great point because yes, you're acknowledging that you have heard them. You saw what they wrote. You took it in. You made some revisions.
Yeah.
Mine is simple. Like I had a 6-week course. It was I didn't facilitate all these. I did about 3 or 4 of them with another team member, but they were every other week. And after the first week, the first time I went, I realized that some people were newer to that building. And I forgot to point out that someone mentioned, well, you gave us the couple breaks, but there's only one set of restrooms. And I'm like, oh, I forgot there's another set. So the next week I said, you know what? I completely forgot. I forgot that some of you aren't familiar with this building. If you go out the other side of the door this way, then you can, go that way. Or there's a bubble over here and there's a vending machine down there. And, that type of stuff where sometimes if you're so familiar with an area, you forget those initial things to present at the beginning of the class to make them familiar. So
absolutely. It's definitely one of those things that as facilitators or as leaders, like if you're leading a team and you're struggling, sometimes you just have to ask that hard question of like, what can I do to help you out? Like what can I do better? And you have to kind of own the fact that nobody's perfect. And depending on what kind of a leader you might be, they might be horrifically honest with you, or they might placate you and it's like, no, nothing, it's fine, which is the worst because you're that neutral party. You're not giving them anything. And as facilitators, as team leaders, as just people in the professional environment, like you can't grow if you don't know. Yo. Right? You can't. How do you expect to be better at something or show somebody that you want to improve if they can't help you at least see a little bit of what you could work on?
Love it.
No,
well,
man,
Steve,
this is awesome. Awesome topic, sincerely.
Hey,
I feel like I could talk about this for hours.
We could do a part 2. We're going to pencil that in
awesome.
to do a follow up.
Hell yeah.
Tomorrow. But I'm going to go to bed in a minute, and then I will come back with all fresh ideas tomorrow.
Okay, good.
So, Steve, but speaking of feedback, do you know whose feedback you and I crave more than anything?
Oh, wow. I don't know, but this feels like a really great segue.
It is. It's a very good segue. And I want to get things ready for Spin a Rooski.
Woo! All right, folks. While Patrick readies the wheel, I feel this is some feedback that we have received. And that is, we talk about the Spinarooski, but people don't know what the Spinarooski is. Yes, we're like, we'll do it.
Sorry.
So I thought I would take this moment and explain to some of our newer listeners out there, or somebody that just might be visiting from bouncing around between episodes. Here's the gist, guys. Many moons ago, Patrick and I were given a gift by an unnamed woman of being the founders of the Ugly Club. And if you want to know more about that, you're going to have to venture all the way back to episode 1. We don't know her name, though. She's a ethereal character. We don't know her name. So Patrick and I take a moment every episode to spin a wheel that has a host of names that could potentially be associated with this woman, in the hopes that it will land on her name one day so we can officially thank her in person. So I hope that explains it well enough. Patrick, you ready to do this? You ready to spin a Rooski?
Here we go. Boom.
Boom.
Going around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Feel good. Who is it?
It is Leah.
Wow, Leah. I could see her being a Leah. I could see it.
I'm feeling pretty good about that one.
That's a good one. Yeah, I think that was a very popular girl's name when we were growing up. And I would assume that this now woman grew up around the same time we did. So anyway, hey, thank you so much, Leah. We really appreciate it. Thank you for living rent-free in our heads and giving us the greatest gift of all, the Ugly Club. That is awesome. Thank you, Leah.
Well, that about does it for this episode. And thank you to everyone out in listener land for joining us on another rendition of Grossly Competent. If you like what you're hearing and want to support the show, here are the best ways possible. Steve?
Beep, boop, blorp, blorp. Beep, beep, bop, boop. Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies.
Competent. Grossly competent.
Okay, let me get into my my voiceover here. You can subscribe, follow, and give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can visit us on Buzzsprout at grosslycompetent.buzzsprout.com, and here you can become an active supporter and help us with the show. Sincerely, every cent counts and is wildly appreciated. You can give us a shout on socials. You can, especially the brand new account on Instagram. You can email us if that's your jam at grosslycompetent, all one word, at gmail.com. You can send us a message using the link at the top of the show notes. It will be displayed proudly on our Buzzsprout site for all to witness and see. And last but not least, we highly encourage you to tell your friends, family, coworkers, or that really awesome L&D person at your company about this podcast.
a 9 or 10 on the Net Promoter Score would be great. And
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
we appreciate all of you. Any form of support you can provide means the world to us. This is truly a labor of love, and we love bringing it to you each and every week.
Yeah, we seriously do. This week, as far as our weekly listener shout out, well, we already did kind of give a shout out earlier in this episode, but kind of staying true to that theme, I'd like to give a reminder to all of you out there that we have a contest going on right now to celebrate the birth of our Instagram account at Grossly Competent. If you would like to participate, here's how you do it. You go and you give Grossly Competent a 5-star review on a podcast platform of your choice. Take a screenshot of said 5-star review and then post it to Instagram, tagging at Grossly Competent. That will allow Patrick and I to know that you did this. We can then look through and we will pick a random winner from all entries. And I got to tell you, I was texting Patrick last night with what I would like to include in this swag bag. And he was like, oh, snap. So, folks,
OMG.
I think I even joked on, I did a post on Instagram I'm sorry, is it a reel or a story? I'm still learning the vernacular. And I said, it might even be a boat. It's not a boat. Don't worry.
Steve, they think we're AI because you just used the word vernacular.
I'm sorry. Big words. Isn't that Kevin from The Office? Like, why big word, small do good?
God.
Oh my God. All right, folks.
Well,
that is it for this fantastic episode. Thank you, Patrick, for the topic. It was awesome. I love it. You win the award for the day. You can do all the topics going forward from now on because that's just the way it works. So
I quit.
No,
I quit.
Nah, Uggos, thank you so much. You are the best fans of all time. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
Ugly. The sound effects.